Hello, this is Eldoric The Guardian Tank, and we're just going over the Mist of Pandaria for the Guardian Druid spec, so let's hop right into it. Now, what we're looking at here, of course, is my beloved Eldoric, misspelled because you have to do that on the beta, but no worries whatsoever. He looks great. That's tier 7, by the way, with Origin of Nightmares as a staff. The best gear you can possibly get in the game. Alright, now, what we're looking at here is what they give you is for each one of these specs when you step in there, they tell you what you get inherent to the spec, the special abilities that are separate from the class abilities that you kind of can touch on. So we're going to look at the Guardian ones here. Now, of course, we're going to have to start with Savage Defense. Now, this is one of those primary expenditures of rage that you really care about and that you're going to be using, okay? That in combination with two other things is really what you use your rage on. Vengeance, of course, very similar to what we had in past iterations of the game in CAD and everything. Basically, it lets you scale a little bit better. Okay, Bear Hug. Kind of fun, kind of interesting. Damage based off of your health. Cool concept. It can stun. It doesn't immobilize you, but since you're a tank, you're not using a lot, and it's on a minute cooldown, so interesting ability. Thrash. Now, Thrash has become really important, because Thrash also uses weakening blows, and that is the 10% damage reduction, so that's baking in a lot of that, those debuffs you had. Now, Thick Hide. This is kind of the all-encompassing, I'm now a tank thing. It increases your armor, increases damage reduction, takes away the 6% chance to be critically hit by a boss. It's great that they just bake it in there because now you can't screw it up. Alright, Primal Fury is really important because what this is how you get rage, how you earn it up to use on the survivability talents that you want so much. Basically, what you're getting here is it gives you 15 rage every time you critically strike with Mangle, which works into a lot of those threat stats mattering, and also when you hit with an auto attack. So, you know, things like expertise, hit become important, and crit, so you can get rage in order to then use it on the defensive expenditures you get. Very important. Now, Leader Pack, not really changed. The thing you care about is it increases your crit, which feeds into your survivability in a kind of indirect way, and then, of course, it gives you a little bit of a heal that can occur. Not a big change. If you play a Druid tank, you already know about it. Okay, Berserk, again, not changed. You do not have the lacerate portion in there that you used to have with it giving free mangles. It's cooked into another thing. All this really does is a kind of a threat AoE move, which, you know, that's fine. It's good that you have it there that when you need to burst damage. Skull Bash, still functioning as the primary interrupt of the tank. Good ability, still there. Enrage, not really changed except for you get it very late in the game. Very late. But 20 rage up front, and then you get 10 more rage over 10 seconds. Of course, Nature's Guardian, the new mastery, basically armor is the big thing, increases your armor, and the mastery increases it further. So that's what you get when you go and you spec as a Guardian Druid. Now let's take a look at a few of those abilities that you're really going to be caring about while you're trying to tank. Now we got active and passive abilities here. Let's take a primary look here at the active abilities you're going to be dealing with. Okay, the first thing you of course got is Mangle, primary threat move. It's going to be proccing off your lacerate. You want to use as much because when you crit, you get rage back, and it doesn't cost rage. Lacerate is going to be one of your main fillers, alright? You're going to want to lacerate, you want to keep it up, it burns quicker, and you definitely need to use it. So you can get more mangles and therefore get more crit. And get that extra rage. Very important. Fairy Fire, never could say that quite right. This is where you're getting Sunder, called Weakened Armor. Very good. Also, very important about Feral Fire. Now, it's on the 15-second cooldown, but the important thing about this is that it's kind of becoming the Rain Silence. It isn't kind of, it is becoming the Rain Silence for the Druid tank. So we're going to look here in Glyph of Fey Silence. This is going to let you silence someone for 15 seconds. Now, it puts it on the cooldown, but that's fine. You can deal with that cooldown. The armor reduction over the course of a boss fight is fine, but this is big. Finally, you can pull those range bombs without having to worry about constantly going through all kind of hoops. Equal with other tanks. Gotta love it. Alright, Maul. This is the damage move for your rage, if you have excess rage. Now, normally you're going to be spending it on other things, but it's there. Okay, then Bear Hug. We've talked about this. Fun little ability. I'll show you how it works in another video. Savage Defense. Critical. That is what you spend rage on, and then you get defense back. Swipe. pretty much just your AoE move, does more for bleeding damage. That's going to go into Thrash, which we talked about. That gives your debuff. Okay, Stampede and Roar, not a huge change. Still a handy ability, and glad that they actually retained it. You know, a little group utility. Movement can be a very important thing. I like to see it. Growl, it's your taunt. You should know all about it. Alright, now, of course, Bark Skin, kind of untouched. Same thing you used to love. Good thing is, Druid didn't have a whole lot of changes to their cooldown. Survival Instinct, pretty much the same as what you had before. 50% every 3 minutes for 12 seconds reduction. That's great. Frenzy Regeneration is the counterpoint to Savage Defense. This one gives you health back, and this one is modified by a glyph. It's very important, something we'll have to dive into, because if you go over here and you look here, you got Glyph of Frenzy Regeneration. That increases the healing done on you. Otherwise, it's the old version where it converts Rage into healing. So, I'll go more into that into a later video, but it's either that, using Frenzy Regeneration Glyph, or it's using Savage Defense, depending what you want to use. And it plays into how you burn things. So, Savage Defense, 60 Rage, 55 Rage, and the same thing goes for your Frenzy Regeneration. So you got there. And the new one to the table is the Might of Ursoc, hope I'm saying that correctly, which basically gives you 50% of your health or brings you up to 50%. Very cool effect. I like the red eyes and the black and the red swirling around. Most of the Druid animations aren't stellar for the bear tank, but this one's actually quite nice. I like it. And it's a great cooldown. Gives a little more versatility in our cooldowns than we had previously in the past. You know, we had the 3, now we got more, and we could do a little bit more with them, so I like that. Now, passive Nurturing Instinct, this is going to play into how much you can heal depending on how you spec. That can be a factor. Nature's Guardian, we talked about for the mastery. You got fun things, kind of like your leather specialization, leader of the pack, already know about that. So the passives are pretty easy to understand. Your Primal Fury, quickness, love it. Best tanking stat you can get. And these are our talented ones you have in there. So a lot of interesting things going on with the overall build and abilities of the bear tank. So you're going to probably want to look at them all, get a good feel for them. You'll get a chance to use them. But remember, the main idea is that you do moves to get rage. You know, Lacerate feeds into Mangle. Mangle feeds into the rage you're getting. Then you expend that rage either on Savage Defense or Frenzy Regeneration or Maul. If you're really, really swimming in it, it can do a little extra damage. Alright, so that was a quick look at the Guardian Druid. Love saying that. Guardian Druid abilities that you're going to be having coming in Mist of Pandaria. Again, just remember that kind of earn rage and then spend rage for survivability. It's a very different way of playing, and it's, you know, you really have to wrap your head around it. Alright, well, thank you for joining this week. Also, check out the Guardian Tank podcast, available on iTunes. And also go into theguardiantank.com and check out the other great tanking videos that we have here on our YouTube page. Until next time, this is Eldoric The Guardian Tank, and thank you for joining us.